Hello everyone, and this is BioPhoenix here, and today we're going to be doing another top list, and this one is going to be on my 5 favorite underrated Sega Saturn OSTs. Now, the Saturn in general, compared to many other popular systems at the time, was not nearly as well known, unfortunately, mostly due to poor marketing in the West. So because of this, there is quite a lot of games that could qualify into this, but there is some things I'm going to get out of the way first about that. So obviously I'm not going to be covering the more popular stuff like Virtua Fighter or Nights into Dreams or anything like that. But I'm also not going to be talking about any of those typical rare Saturn games that everyone always talks about just for its rarity. You know the ones, like Panzer Dragoon Saga or Magic Knight Rayearth. And as much as I do love the OSTs in those games, and yeah, I would say they are fairly underrated OSTs in general, but I found a lot of other Sega Saturn OSTs that definitely don't get talked about nearly as much, even with other people that I've talked to that also have grown up with a Saturn or are very familiar with the Saturn library. So knowing all this, everything else is pretty self-explanatory, especially if you've seen the other underrated OST videos that I've done. So anyways, with that said, now let's begin the list. So the first one I want to mention here is Astral Superstars. Now this is a 2D fighter where you're just flying around beating each other up, and it kind of plays similar to that one Dragon Ball Z game on Super NES. And from the little bit I played of it, it seemed pretty good, but I mostly liked it for the art style. But yeah, the music in this game is pretty great, and also has a pretty big variety. It's a little tough to explain it all, but pretty much it has a little bit of everything. I mean, you got a little bit of rock, you got a little bit of a symphonic, and just various other genres that suit the character themes. So the next one I want to bring up is Tengai Makio, The Fourth Apocalypse. And yes, I have talked about this game not too long ago within a video I done called Games I Wish That Got Fan Translated. Now, to sum up this game quickly, is that it's an RPG where you wander around the dystopian world of North America. And in this version of America, things are very different. And there is a lot of crazy moments within the game, which are pretty amusing from what I've seen. But yeah, the OST in this game is pretty damn great. So like I said before, you do get a lot of variety where you get like a lot of like calm, relaxing songs that really do fit the settings where they belong to. And you get a pretty good boss theme too, which is always a great thing. And even for Sega Saturn RPGs, I definitely do think that the OST in this one is probably just as good as the ones in Magic Knight Rayearth and even Albert Odyssey. And the next one I'm going to talk about here is Nekketsu Oyako. Probably not correct, but this is how it's spelled out in case you're wondering. Now, unfortunately, I haven't got around of actually playing this one yet, but from what I've seen of the game, it looks like a pretty fun beat-em-up that is pretty over the top. But the music, though, oh damn, it's fucking awesome. And I'd say that the music in this one kind of has a progressive rock feel to it. Like, it has like a lot of guitars and like keyboard solos and all that good stuff, which is always great. But I do find that the music in this one does kind of remind me a little bit of the PC Engine versions of the Valis games, which is a great thing to be compared to. Makes me wonder if it was done by the same composer, but I couldn't find any information on the composer on this game, but hey, it's fucking great. next one I'm mentioning is one that you probably would never guess I would put in here, and that happens to be Virtual Casino. Yeah, that's right, I'm putting a gambling game in here. And it was published by Natsume, which is always interesting. So yeah, as for the game itself, I haven't played it, and really, this isn't really my type of game I would spend a lot of time on, but I gotta say though, the music in this game, for the most part, is pretty great. So you got some really good variety here. I mean, you got the stuff you would expect, like jazz, techno, trance, dance, you know, all that kind of stuff. But the one that really took me by surprise is that there is a couple metal tracks in here that I was like, shit, this is awesome. But even the trance and jazz tracks in this game are still really great too. But I will admit that not every song here is a winner though, but I do think that there is more good than bad songs, at least more than enough that is worth listening to. And before we move on to the last one, I just want to say that if I ever were to play a casino game just for whatever reason, I'd probably play this one just for the music alone. So now, as for my final one that I want to mention, and this is a game that I've talked about many times on my channel before, and I'm pretty sure anyone that has watched my content long enough, you could probably take a guess what it is, and well, people still don't know much about this OST, and it's so fucking great, and that happens to be Watchin' Rotor. Yeah, I have a feeling some of you were like, oh, he's gonna mention Watchin' Rotor again, isn't he? Well, yeah, you got it right. And how could I not, though? This is like one of the greatest OSTs I ever heard in my life. I'm no bullshitting around on that. I really do think this is one of the greatest OSTs you can get on the Sega Saturn. And I don't know what else I can add here that I already haven't said before. It's very ambient, very chill, very relaxing, very soothing. And of course, the composer for this game happened to be Ian McDonald, who is actually one of the former members of King Crimson, which that alone is pretty amazing. that'll take us to the end of this top list video on underrated video game soundtracks on Sega Saturn. And the next one I'm probably gonna do is on the N64, but before I end it here, what are some of your favorite Sega Saturn soundtracks that you don't really hear a lot of people talk about? And more specifically, not talk about the music, not the game, or like its rarity, and you know, all that typical bullshit stuff. But anyways, with that said, thanks for watching, commenting, and have yourselves a great day.